It is Damien from Marketing Food Online. I've got another video this evening. This one is going to be specifically aimed towards farmers markets. If you have never sold locally at a farmers market, or if you're starting a cottage kitchen and you're producing a food at home and you are looking to attend local farmers markets, I have 5 tips, 5 ways to make it a success. When I started my business with my wife, we did the farmers markets as well locally. We also did festivals, and we did quite a few places. We even did some volunteering, and we donated some stuff to charities, which is another video. A great way to also locally get yourself out there is to donate your product and your time to charities. It's a great free way that you can get some notoriety and then get out there and people are aware of what you do. Hand out some business cards and let the locals know you are there. So 5 tips. 5 ways to have a successful farmers market. Really quick, I am going to tell you a horror story. It is a story about the first farmers market that me and my wife went to, which was atrocious. It was not a successful event. It was a learning experience. Oh my gosh, that was horrible. My wife and I we actually had our brick and mortar, our retail bakery, our Italian bakery, and we got invited to an event which turned out to be one of the worst experiences of food sales that I've ever had. So the way it broke down is, this was the first one we went to. I wasn't sure of how to set up things. I wasn't sure about when to set up things. And a few other questions that weren't answered exactly the way that we thought prior to attending this event. So what we took from it was the 5 things I will show you as we learn from experience. We actually went there and realized that we brought all of our cookies. We did a lot of cookies, so we had some prepackaged cookies, and we brought some samples, and we put those in containers, display cases, but didn't realize that it was in the middle of summer and there was an enormous amount of flies that would be attending this farmer's market as well. So, long story short, you can put 2 and 2 together and realize that sampling cookies with no covering on them was something that we should have probably not done. But the flies did enjoy the cookies. Most of the people that were there did not. So, all right, so 5 things that I learned from the flies. Number 1, farmers markets, you've got to understand something. They are different everywhere, okay? There's a lot of different things that you need to think about or look into, and you need to ask the farmers market in particular about the following. The first thing off back is do some market research. Check out the farmers market itself. If you want to attend a local farmers market, go to it, see what they have, okay? Here's why. There are a lot of farmers markets that are set up for vegetables, fruits, and produce, okay? They have a lot of local growers that bring produce to the farmers markets. They are not necessarily set up for candy makers, let's say, or if you make breads, or if you have cookies, whatever it is that you're allowed to make within your cottage kitchen, within your state. Every farmer's market is not a fit for what you do. So you need to know that, okay? Some farmers markets actually restrict the type of food or items being brought in. So you want to check that out. Go to the people who are doing the production end of it, who are producing the farmers market, who put it on, who manages it. Ask them specifically, hey, this is what I make. Do you think this is something that will sell good here? Because a lot of times some farmers markets, like I mentioned, would be set up just for produce. So customers coming in, people who are coming to visit, coming through those farmers markets, are not looking for cookies, candies, breads, baked goods, jams, and jellies. They may just be there for fresh produce, okay? Why do I say that? Is because some farmers markets will be set up and they're going to have 20 booths of produce, and you're going to be the only one there with baked goods, and nobody's there expecting that you're going to be there, so your sales may be 0 or nothing. And then a lot of cases, farmers markets charge fees to get in. Not only do they charge fees to get in, but then they'll charge you a percentage based on what you sell once you're there, okay? These are things you may not think about. So do your research. Check it out first. Number 1, research. Research. Find out what is going in there. What is selling? What kind of stuff can you sell? Because they can restrict. They can tell you yes or no based on what they want to. They are governed, by the way, just like you know, farmers markets are there are certain aspects of farmers markets that are actually governed by local laws and state laws. But there are rules and regulations that the farmers market has the right to set up. And they can dictate whatever those might be as far as fees, percentages of what you sell, how big your booth is, what you can sell, what you can't sell. These are all different things to think about, okay? So do your research first. Find out first. The next one, actually I just covered 2 of the 5, which was actually that farmers markets set up their own rules and policies. Now, when they do that, keep in mind that they will tell you the type of booth that you can have, the size of the booth, when to be there, what time you have to actually take everything down. You got to kind of shut down your shop. If they close at 7, you got to be out by 8. People who own farmers markets own that actual land that it's on. They're going to regulate to you what the rules are as far as participating in those, okay? Expect that in some cases they have their own rules, okay? And in some cases those rules may involve a $50 fee. Some I've actually seen in certain states go up to several $100s to get in. But in those farmers markets, they're going to tell you, well, the traffic's going to be like 20,000 people. So if you've got $500 fee and you're going to sell, you have the potential to sell to 20,000 people, you're going to make that money back, okay? What you also want to know is your product, okay? And I know that maybe you may make a face to that and say, like, what does that mean? Know that your product, know what your product is, like the back of your hand. If I make cookies, okay, and I'm going to go to a farmer's market, and they have about 50 booths set up, and there's 4 people selling cookies, the likelihood that you should go to that farmer's market, in my opinion, is 0. Do not do that. Know your product. If your product is a baked good and there's 7 people selling a similar baked good, chances are that your sales are going to be extremely low. Find farmers markets and you can ask this. You can tell the people who manage it, say, look, this is what I make. How many of your vendors are actually selling a product like mine or even is exactly like mine, okay? If you're selling a baked good product, now I don't want to deter you from what I just said. I do want to explain this to you. If you're selling a baked good product, and let's say it's a cookie. Now, there are 5 other vendors selling baked goods, but they're breads, scones, things that are not like your product. Thumbs up. Do it. Go for it, okay? But again, knowing your product, and if you go there and they've got 5 booths set up selling cookies, you're going to waste your money and your time, okay? So know your product. Try to make sure that there's not going to be a whole bunch of people selling the same item, okay? All right, number 4. When you go to a farmer's market, you are responsible for every aspect of your setup, your breakdown, your setting of the table. If you've got a tablecloth that you're going to be putting down, setting up samples, setting up product to sell. You got to bring samples to sell, okay? So you got to keep in mind the amount of money that you're going to put out for samples because there are people going to want to try your products, and then you got to have product there, okay? You also want to make sure that you've got a sign. Put up a sign. You can get signs made for nothing. You can go online. You can get a sign made, set it up in front of your booth, explaining who you are in the sign, what your product is. You don't necessarily have to do a set price. You can change your pricing as you go. I would recommend that you do a sign just explaining the name of your company, your website if you have one, a contact phone number, and of course the type of products that you sell, okay? So if you're Susie's Great Cookies, put Susie's Great Cookies and susiesgreatcookies.com, a phone number, because what that will do is you need to also hand out business cards, by the way. I would highly recommend you do that. That sign makes a big impact on people as they come up to your booth. You look more professional. You don't look like you're just doing this on the weekends to make up money so you can go out and party or whatever you may do. So make it look professional, make yourself look professional, okay? Also with that kind of having a system, I guess you want to say, of setting up, make sure that you understand the guidelines for that specific farmer's market. They all are different, okay? They may require that you be there an hour before to set up your booth, maybe 2 hours. And if they close at, let's say 7, they say, look, by 8 o'clock, you got to be out of here, so wrap up your stuff. Get kind of a system set up so you know how long it takes you, okay? And how long is it going to take to get everything put together, to get yourself set up, time it out, understand the best way for you to set up. Are you going to bring help? Are you doing it by yourself? You're going to have family members. I don't recommend you bring your kids. It's unprofessional. And plus, you're going to be taking them to the bathroom every 2 hours. Do it yourself with either like your husband and wife, your cousin, somebody else who can help you, okay? Some of the booths that you set up, you're going to have a lot of stuff. Between samples, signs, tablecloths, chairs to sit on. Are you going to bring your coolers so you have some food to eat while you're there? Most farmers markets are hours on end, okay? Keep that in mind. So kind of have a setup of how you're going to do everything, okay? And again, I'm not going to deter you or scare you with all of these things that you need to think about if you want to do a local farmers market, okay? The best way to learn is just by doing it, okay? Take these notes down, write them down, but don't stress over it. Don't kill yourself trying to figure out everything in every little aspect. Do it once, learn from it. Do it twice, learn from it, and so on and so on and so on, okay? Remember, if you can do it properly and you can execute it great, setting yourself up, getting your signs, sampling, you can make a lot of money at farmers markets, okay? Because a lot of people go to farmers market with money to burn. They are willing to pay a premium, I guess you want to say almost, for a product that's locally made because they like to support small business. They like to hear your story. But the great thing is they come with cash, okay? And cash is just, it's phenomenal. When you start selling stuff with cash, it's just great. And I can do a whole separate video on that. So lastly, start small, okay? Start small. Don't go into this with the mentality that you're going to make $10,000 or a couple $1,000s on a weekend. You can think that if you want, but to be honest with you, when you start out from scratch, a few $100s or a couple $100s is great. If you can do over $1,000, that's fantastic, okay? But start just little by little. Start small, start incrementally, okay? If you want to think big and start small, that's always a good way. That's my philosophy. When I started out my business, I always saw myself as something much, much bigger than I was when I started. But realistically, start small. You don't know what you're doing at first. That's fine. You got to keep practicing and keep trying it, okay? And then from there, as I've always said before, it becomes a success locally. Get yourself into a commercial place and get yourself with a bigger system, bigger facility, bigger equipment, more people, and then you can grow from there, okay? So start small, but think big, okay? But remember, these 5 things are the best things to remember when you're going into a farmer's market or a festival even, those types of settings. Keep in mind the fees, keep in mind how big is your booth, when you're supposed to be there, how many people is it going to take for you to set up and break down. Ask all these questions, okay? And if you don't know, just simply ask. I hope that video helped you out. Definitely go out there and try farmers markets if you're selling locally. It is a big thumbs up from me. Great place to network also. You never know who is actually at farmers markets. You could even run into a local buyer for a food chain and say, hey, look, you know what? I'd love to take this to a whole nother level. I know some people you can get in touch with. You just never know. All right? So if you like my videos, as always, give me a thumbs up. If you